Alright, cool. If you guys aren't doing anything, I posted that link in Wolfie's tips and tricks for my stream, and I'm gonna walk through hotbars on my screen. But I'll mute myself on here, so it'll record, so I can like just post that in there, and it can be there for anybody that wants to watch it down the road. Right? It's pretty cool. Once you learn it, it's yeah, it's about like muscle memory, I guess. I mean, really. But it's nicer to just hold it and not have to be like flinging my hands around the keyboard unless I want to like type to somebody. Oh, okay. All right. All right, so for a hotbar explanation, obviously, you got your triggers that control each side, and then usually you can hit like R1 to cycle through to the next ones that are open. So what you can do is there's a couple other options you can do for your controller. Is that you have settings where if you hold down like the right controller or the right trigger and then the left, it'll pull up a separate set, and you can change that to do like if I do R and then L, it brings up those, or if I do L and R, it brings up a different set. I have them set to the same thing though, so it makes it easier for me. And then you also have like the R2 and L2 double tap, so if you double tap, more show up there. And there's a couple settings with that, so I'll go into that really quick. So PS users, go into your start menu, and then let's see, what is it, character configuration. So once you pull this up, you go to hotbar settings, and then hotbar settings come up, and you have a bunch of different options. And so I go to, first thing is sharing. If you have these turned on, then whatever you have placed on, not for hotbar, cross hotbars, PlayStation. So if I want to have like the same hotbar across all my jobs, I can set it as like hotbar 1, and each time you switch a job, that same set of hotbars will come up. Otherwise, make sure that's turned off so that when you're on a different class, you don't have like white mage ability set and you have to change it. So that's what sharing is. It's sharing between classes. Otherwise, each class will give you its own set of hotbars. So I have them turned off. And then cross hotbar is the next one. Let's see. I don't think there's... Okay, so there's a couple settings down here. So always display WXHB. So that shows the WXHB. I don't even know what it stands for, but that's when you double tap, it goes up to that set. So you can have it to always be like just up, or you can have it disappear. I like to have it disappear so I don't just have more stuff. This one is return to cross hotbar after the WX input. So basically, when you double tap this to bring up these ones and you use it, you can either set it to either like still holding it, it'll go back to the first one, or you have to like let go to go back to the first one. So just ask me about that if I didn't explain that. And then Cool. So there's that, and so here's where you get to the custom. So custom, you can enable expanded controls with L2 and R2, and so basically that's where you hold one, or you hold both triggers down in a specific order. So as you can see, no matter what order I hit them in, I have them set to go to the same section of crossbar, and obviously. Like right, this would be like cross hotbar 1 right, and this is left, just for, you know. So if I go to, whoops, yes, if I go to like my crossbar 8, that's what I have set on crossbar 8 right. So whenever I hit L then R, it brings up that, and I have it set for the same thing, because that's all I really need. It's really handy to get to those quicker without having to hit R1 every time to switch between hotbars and stuff. Because then you're just hitting too many buttons, it feels like. Okay, so anyways, back into this, and I'm almost done here. So hotbar settings, so custom. So that's the hold controls. You can turn that on, and that's the one I first use because it's super easy. Because you always have, you know, you're always holding down your trigger to keep up your hotbar and use your abilities, and then it's easy just to hit the other one to bring up another set and hit the button right away and let go. If that makes sense. So the next thing is the WXHB, which I was talking about earlier. That's the double tap. So you bring up a double tap, it brings up a set, and over there brings a set. So you can do it so that it enables only the 4 buttons, which is the circle, X, square, so it only have 4 of them. Or you can do it with directional buttons as well, which is kind of how the normal one works. So that's why when I pop it up, I have 8. And then, let's see. You guys probably know about that stuff. So that's pretty much it. Those are the 2 settings that will make controller playing a lot easier. So let me get out of here. So basically I have my abilities here set up as a white mage, and I'll show you my tank too. But you know, I can use those abilities, and then you know, as I'm sitting here like glaring over and over, I can hold this and put up a shield or whatever it is, and then let go and go back to, you know, whatever I want to do there. And then also the double tap. That one's a little bit harder for me to use. So I have things that I barely use on double tap. But like if I need to thin air or like swift cast rays or something like that, then that's up there too. Which I'm not going to use that as often, but it's there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'll show you my tank real quick too. But it's definitely better than like cycling through and having to hit the R1 to cycle through different hotbars and stuff like that. It's just much easier. You can put what you want. So I have the same thing kind of set up. If I double tap my L, I have a couple. I have like you know, the tank stun, shield lob, and my tank stance, which, you know, I only use that once, and so that's kind of up there. And then I also have my teleports. And that's the same across every class, where I have like my mountain. So you learn how to push that real quick. And so on my tank, I have like my normal, on my right trigger, I have all my normal like rotation stuff, second stuff. And then what I put on when I hold both triggers, that's basically like all my mitigations and stuff like that. So as a tank, you obviously want to use as many mitigations as possible and in the right times. And so I can be here, and then I can just push this trigger to check and see if they're off cooldown or something like that. All you do is, like, I'm holding the R the whole time, and then you just hit, like, you tap that and brings it up, lets it go. So I can, you know, use Rampart and then be right back on my hotbar where I'm doing my stuff. I guess on a dummy would make sense. So, you know, you're going through, you're doing your rotation, and I check my, I know a big attack is coming up, so I'm going to use, you know, Divine Veil, and then I'm right back at it just by pushing L, and then I can use the button, and then right back. And so, anyways, you can do that. So, like, as you're going, you can just check and see, okay, hey, how much time is left on that? And so, you know, you look again and see, you know, okay, it's not up or it is up. And then obviously I have, like, up here I have a couple different abilities too that didn't fit on everything. I gotta fly in here. And so, like, up here I have a few different abilities. So I have, like, the intervention and cover, and I have provoke and passage of arms and stuff like that. And then So that's really handy when I need to use like provoke or something. I gotta double tap and it brings up those set of abilities. And another thing you can do, I mentioned it earlier, and this is probably the last thing I'll say on this, but if you go back to the cross tab on here and you go down is where you have like always display the WXHB. So I'll apply that. So instead of like having to double tap to see it, I always can see it. So I can see if something's ready to go or if something is like almost off a cooldown, like over here. Like over here, my arm's length has got 60 seconds left. So that's nice because you can see that if I need to cover somebody or, you know, something like that. So you can have that. I just like a little less clutter on my screen, but it is handy if you want to use that for different stuff, and then you're just back to your normal rotation. So a lot of everything's personal preference there. So yeah, you just got to figure that out and set the abilities the way that makes sense for you, and then just learn muscle memory, and that's how you're going to be real awesome at it. So anyways, let me know if you have any questions. Cool.